How's it going, everybody? My name is Rx, and I'm here with my co-host Shawnlings, and this is episode 2 of our podcast, which finally has a name. It is called Weeb Talk, and I know you guys are thinking that we're probably going to talk about everything Japan and everything anime, but that's not the case. Actually, we probably will talk a lot about anime and a lot about Japan and stuff because I mean that's what we like. But we'll throw in some slice of life stuff and things that have gone on in our day or our week or our month or maybe something we're looking forward to this year. But mainly anime.
This was terrible timing to say that because today's episode's all about anime.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's true. It is all about anime. So yeah, let's get to it. Our first topic is gonna be what anime do we enjoy? So what anime do you enjoy? I'm gonna interview you again, like I did last
You
episode.
the last time? All right. Well, let me get my nerves up in a bench. Anime. I like what everyone else likes.
Yeah, the
Just
mainstream
simple.
stuff
No.
like
Kill all
Tokyo
the
Ghoul and Attack on Titan,
SAO, Attack on Titan.
SAO,
Nah, I'm
My
more
Hero
of
Academia, all that the
more
mainstream
of
stuff.
the
That's what you
anime
like,
hips kind of guy.
huh?
No, I don't. I'm more of the I just like watching other anime, like rom-coms. I like watching comedy and stuff. Just in
Rom-coms are
romance.
good.
Yeah, it's just those stuff. I rarely watch a lot of action because I'm not into action. I'm more into the whole uh symbolic meaning and message of anime, and
Yeah, okay,
I
all
like
that moe
them
anime
to be
is symbolic and has a lot of meaning to it, doesn't it?
yes, Lucky Star, the whole symbolic message of every single lolly in there.
Uh, but now that you mention it, I have been watching a lot more. Like you're saying that you don't watch a lot of action, but I've been watching a lot more action anime. I feel like it's a lot more entertaining. I used to be
Hmm.
really into rom coms and stuff, and I still am, but to a certain extent. That now that I've been trying to watch like a lot of the rom coms that I missed out in the last year, I can't really get into them. Like I will watch them, and they are interesting to me, but I just can't get into it. And I did watch. I think we were talking about this yesterday. I was saying that I watched Ari Furueta or something like. I feel like I'm butchering the name, and I've said it a million times now. I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but that has a lot of action in it, and I don't know. I got really into action anime, so I've been looking for more of that. But there's not any really like new action anime that I want to watch. I mean, we did watch that first episode of God of High School, which is really
Oh
good.
yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, but that was really good. I tried
Yeah.
watching Tower of God or God of Tower, whatever the other one's called,
Hmm.
but I ended up not watching it. I don't know why it was the reason for that. I just started the episode, I paused it, and then I went on YouTube and did something else, and probably and
All
forgot
right.
about it.
uh,
But yeah, I mean, that's like what anime do you have you enjoyed? Like, have you been watching recently, or like what are you
Starting with
into
this
like
question again.
currently?
Oh, currently, the same thing. I like watching some action. Like, I still like ReZero. I think I'm still waiting for the second season to fully finish so I can watch that.
Yeah,
But
that's gonna be
me getting
amazing.
into action anime takes a little bit more effort than
Okay. Let me ask you a quick question before you like leave the, because you said ReZero. How did you
uh,
feel about the first season?
the
Like,
okay.
was it like? Because for me, the first season was I enjoyed it because it was really crazy and like everything was going on, but it was also like one of those like a really weird mind fuck where I didn't know what the hell was going on at the same time. Like I liked everything that was going on, but I had like no clue where the story was or where the hell I was. You know what I mean? I got so confused. It just messed with
I
my brain.
Yeah, because they have so many they leave so many plot holes out for some reason. Like there's that one chick who at the beginning and then you never see again until like later for one episode, and then she never appears again. I don't There's a lot of plot holes that haven't been touched, I guess, but I'm
Mhm.
assuming the second season would help a lot. But in terms of like you
And
being confused, I get that sometimes, yeah. Especially towards the middle one. I kind of got a bit annoyed at the main character, but I still
but also,
really enjoyed it.
I mean, are they ever gonna? Are they like? Do you think season 2 is gonna explain how or why he keeps going back in time every time he dies and stuff
Oh
happens to
yeah,
him?
the literal the art for the season has the chick who cursed him in the first place. So I'm assuming they have to do something.
So there is a pretty curse. I honestly don't remember. I watched it a long time ago. I need to go and rewatch that before I do start season 2. But I don't know. It's just it was one of those anime that was like really weird to me, but I couldn't stop watching it because it was interesting. Even though half of the time I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I get that too. I really enjoyed the cast, the voice acting, and the visuals because you can tell like how fucked the situation is from their like facial expressions. It's
Yeah,
I really
the animation with the facial expressions and everything is really good. I like that too. I still don't remember how did he end up in that world. It is an isekai, right? But
yeah,
how
it's an
did
easy.
how did he end up in that world? I forgot about that. Doesn't he
I,
like he dies? Doesn't he die?
he dies a lot, that's for sure.
I feel like if I remember correctly, I think he died saving a girl in his world, and then he ended up there. But I'm not 100% sure because
Oh
that's mainly what happens in most isekais. To
well,
be
okay,
honest.
well, it's different in here. He walked out of a convenience store and got transported here.
Oh, is it? I
And
thought he died.
he did not die. No, he
Oh,
just
I
got
thought he.
randomly
I knew he was in a convenience store. That I did remember, but I thought he'd like maybe got ran over or something. I don't know. Maybe
because that's what
maybe I
all
remember.
isekai are.
I think I'm remembering Konosuba. I think that's what I'm remembering. Because I think that
Wait,
guy
so
does die saving a girl. I think. I don't know. There's too many
have you
around
watched a
it.
lot of isekai anime? Like,
Uh, Not a lot. And the ones I
no.
have watched, I enjoyed a lot. Like the Shield Hero, that was kind of good. Would you count Angel Beats as an isekai? Because he was in a different world. He ended up in the guy ended up in a different world. Or would you
It,
call or
I, I
I don't
wouldn't really
know.
call that one. Because it starts off him already being in that world in the first place.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I watched Konosuba the first season. I enjoyed that. I don't know why I didn't continue watching it. I probably should go back and watch that.
I,
Shield Hero,
I
like I said, I did enjoy ReZero. Technically, that's an isekai. And
yeah.
then that other one, the one I just talked to, Fureta. That's also an isekai technically. I enjoyed that a lot. Too bad there's no second season. They really should make that.
The reason why I wanted to ask you if you watch so many isekai is because I wondered if there's some isekai that ever explains why the character ever gets transported. Because a lot of the ones I've seen, they don't really explain it. They just poof, they're
Um,
there with no reasoning.
I think the Shield Hero does explain it. I think
Hmm.
there's like okay, so I watched this isekai called what was it called? Let me find it for you. It's about this guy who he's a pro wrestler, and then he ends up being transported or summoned to a different world because they need somebody to fight the demons for them.
Oh,
And
wrestler.
instead of becoming like the hero that they want, he ends up trying to become a pet shop owner because there's a lot of like demon beasts that people are afraid of and kill. But he loves animals, so he goes and all these quests and saves the demon beasts instead of killing them. And then he ends up like taming all of them and becomes like a pet shop owner, but he's still a wrestler. It's so freaking weird. I forgot what it was called. Let me look it up. But I forgot what it was called. But it's super interesting. I recommend it.
All right. Uh,
Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, it's called Kimono Michi. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's Japanese manga. It says here it's a manga series. I guess they have a manga as well, but it is an isekai. It's it's just like the weirdest thing ever, and it's so good and it's really really funny. I recommend anybody watch it. Everybody watch it. It's I don't know. I forgot that I watched that recently, but I really do recommend it.
you forget a lot of animes you've watched. I've realized you don't even finish a lot of them.
I don't, and that's an issue. It's because I start watching one and then I find another one and I get into the other one, so I continue watching that, and then I end up finding another one and another one and another one. There's too many and there's not enough time.
I get that mentality. Yeah, I used to be like that. Uh, all right, so how about we change up the subject and talk about ones we hate? What animes do you dislike?
What anime do I dislike? I mean, there's a lot of like. I wouldn't say I dislike it, but it's the type of anime that I just don't find interesting at all. Anything like Umaru-chan. I know it's a super beloved anime. Everybody loves Umaru. I'm not saying she's not cute and she's not a funny little character, but I just the style of anime is something I'm not interested in.
So it's the art style.
It's not the art style. It's the like the slice of life, um, like a
Oh,
comedy, like girl main characters type of thing. I don't know why. I just can't get
yeah.
into that. Like if I were to try to watch Lucky Star, it probably wouldn't work. Um, I don't know why. Like I don't know because I can watch stuff like K-On! I've never seen it, but it's about girls. They start a band and it's slice of life and stuff. I could probably watch that and enjoy it, but like Umaru, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to. And I've
Oh, yeah.
tried. I've tried. I'm not saying the episodes were boring. It's just that I couldn't. I just lost interest.
It's just not your cup of tea.
I
Yeah, I
guess
get it.
so. I wouldn't say I hate it, but I guess I don't really have an anime that I would hate. I mean, I don't
Mm.
watch horror anime, but that's because I'm a chicken.
Okay.
I guess that yeah, I can't think of anything that I actually hate. Hmm.
I guess for me, I don't necessarily hate it, but I just don't like it when the entire anime is dedicated to it. I don't like anime that are full of fan service, like
Yeah.
one High School DxD. I liked the first season, but I just really didn't
What
like
about
the
High
overly.
School of the Dead? You don't like High School of the
It,
Dead?
okay,
That has a
yeah,
lot of fan service in it too, like a
it has a
lot.
lot of fan service, but the only reason I like it is because of that one boob scene where he took the sniper rifle
Oh, when
from
he
that
shoots
chick.
that shot
Had
from
to
between
like,
her. Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's yeah. I
Oh
thought that
no,
was
no, no! Is it where he
super
shoots the
wacky.
sniper rifle and her boobs move and it goes through the middle?
Yeah,
That's so tough.
pretty much. Yeah, it was comically dumb that show,
Yeah,
but I
that is
that was
true.
the one of the only ones I enjoyed a little bit. Just I don't know, but yeah, stuff that has like unneeded fan service, like what's it called, Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid's a whole new reason why I don't like it, but Dragon Maid has a lot of
And see, that's
same jokes,
yeah,
fan service that we don't
exactly. And
like.
like Dragon Maid would be another example of anime that I just couldn't get into. That kind of anime, like that slice of, like I'm saying, that slice of life stuff. I don't know why. Like if it's a slice of life mixed with like a rom com or romance, I can do that. But if it's just slice of life where they're just living their life and it's like wacky situations and stuff like that, I don't know if I can really get into that.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if one person that I know of is ever gonna watch this, but if that person does, yeah, Dragon Maid sucks. It's overrated. Fuck you.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think it's overrated as well. But what can you say? People like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Can't
but
wait for season
yeah,
two.
I mean, I get it when there's too much fan service and that's what the whole thing revolves around. It is kind of like it's not as interesting when there's like really no story and it's all plot. If you know, if you know
Yeah,
what I
those
mean.
kind of ones. I don't like that at all. It's
um,
so annoying.
to a certain extent, it's fine for me, but if it's over the top, then I don't know. I mean, I've
Yeah,
never seen interspecies reviewers, but I'm gonna assume it's just a lot of fan service. And I
that
don't,
was
I
the
don't.
one that got banned, right? From
Yeah,
the
that's the
competition.
one
Oh
that
yeah,
Funimation licensed without thinking.
that.
It's basically a hentai, but
Hey,
but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to get into that one. Um,
so, yeah.
yeah. If
Really.
okay, so we're big fans of Japan. That's obvious. Where
Mm-hmm.
would you live in Japan if you could live in Japan?
Oh,
Are you
if I
gonna be
lived in
like everybody else and say Tokyo?
Oh, of course not. That's like saying I wanna live in, like, New York City. Hell nah.
Yeah, but
That's
if
like
you think about it, I think because of tourism and everybody like how packed it gets, I think living in Kyoto would be worse.
oh, yeah, definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
Tokyo's a big city. That makes sense why it's so packed. But living in Kyoto, I hear that it's like because of all the tourists and it gets. I mean, not lately because of the whole pandemic, but it just gets it's
Mhm.
bad. It's terrible.
Yeah, I would never live there. If you live there, like, I would feel sorry for you because I'd imagine you would never get a peaceful night of sleep. It's always, like, something happening, like, every single time of day. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't really know a lot of places in Japan. But what I do know is I would love to live in the countryside where it's a little more peaceful.
Yes, yeah, the
Even if it
peaceful
took like an
side.
hour or two to get to Tokyo, because obviously I'd go to Akihabara.
Hmm.
I'd still rather live in the countryside. Not that I'm
Yeah, it's
ever
very,
gonna live in Japan. I do plan on visiting there, just never actually living there. Um, unless some miracle, something happens where I have the opportunity to live there. But I doubt that's ever gonna happen.
yeah. I the only like I think isn't Osaka like a countryside part
Osaka,
of
yeah, I think
yeah,
it is a
I would
little
like
more
to live there. I don't
countryside
know.
than.
It's one of the only cities I know other than Akihabara and
I
Tokyo.
think it's still a big city. I think, or is it countryside? I don't remember. Let me look it up real quick. But I don't. I think it is a city too. Oh, I spelled it wrong. But yeah, it's a nice place to live. It does have more. It's a lot smaller. I think it is a lot smaller than Tokyo, which would be a lot better. I think
Oh
it'd be a
yeah.
good place to live. It'd be kind of nice. And they do have this like. I think Osaka has this like market area that has a bunch of anime stuff too. I think it's in Osaka, or maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it'd be a cool place to live. Universal Studios Japan is in Osaka. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh,
Isn't that where
that'd
they're
be
building that new Mario structure?
I think so. Yeah,
That'd
if
be really
that's
cool.
the place.
That'd be really cool to live by there. What else we got here? Uh,
Transition.
our transition is awful. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
podcast. We can talk and say whatever the hell we want. Nobody can stop
yeah,
us. We have the
I can
power.
say the N word
Oh,
too.
wait, you can't say that though. Just joking.
Shit.
Anything but that. Do you know any Japanese? That's
Do
what's.
I
I've been trying to
remember
learn Japanese for years, and it's just so hard.
yeah, it's kind of hard. I tried a website and I tried writing it down all like the phonetic, not phonetic, but all the alphabet for what's it called? Katakana. I
Hmm.
don't know where that is, so I gave up. I know
I
I have
I just
a game too. I have a game that teaches you hiragana and katakana, which is I never played it, so I don't know how it is.
I have
But
a visual novel that actually teaches you like the beginner Japanese, and I've tried playing it, and I don't know. I used to play a lot of visual novels. Now I don't know why I can't really get into them. But I've been trying
yeah,
to learn for years. It's just I can never find the motivation, and then there'd be certain times where I'll be super motivated for like that week, and then after that I just give up because I like lose all motivation for it. And that's like thing with with learning anything. If you don't have the passion, like the super passion or like motivation to actually try, then you're never gonna get anywhere. And Japanese, learning a new language takes a long time, and I just don't
yeah,
have the patience for it. I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't learned anything because I do know a lot of words, and I can remember some of the symbols, the characters, but it's just not enough. Not enough to be able to like have a small conversation with anybody or even like order food, which, you know, all and in my opinion, all I would like to know, if possible, is how to order food and how to be able to buy stuff. Like how to be able to talk to somebody enough to where like, oh, I want this thing and can I purchase this and like how much is it? That kind of stuff.
mm,
Especially because if you go to like an anime figure shop where they have them like people sell their like used figures and stuff, and they have them in the like glass cases, and they give you like a little paper and you write down the number. Then you have to go talk to the person that works at the store, and then you give them your list, and then they'll go like grab everything that you chose, and then you have to buy that. Like all that, like I'd be able to talk to those people just so you know like how to like ask for stuff. It'd be a lot easier. But I don't know enough to survive in Japan.
it's well we're lucky though because like since Japan is such like a very tourist attraction, we don't really need to learn Japan to visit.
True, you're right, and I mean you can always arrive at Japan, and I'm assuming at the airports they have people that you can probably hire like a translator and stuff,
Yeah,
or like
I've
a
seen
tour
those.
guide. Um, but still being able to like speak it would be nice. It'd be kind of cool. I mean, if I learned Japanese, that would technically be my third language. I mean, I can speak English and Spanish, so So learning Japanese would be my third language, and if I somehow found a way to learn Japanese, a way that would make it interesting for me and like hold my motivation, um, I probably wouldn't stop there. Actually, I'd love to learn Korean as well, and maybe Italian or Chinese if possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
it would have been easier if I learned Chinese somehow, and then I started learning Japanese and stuff, because I think it'd be a lot easier to learn that one. I mean, it's hard to learn Chinese, but from after learning Chinese, it'd be a lot easier to learn Korean and Japanese probably. But
Yeah,
um,
similar.
but Chinese is not something I'm super interested in, so that's why I want to learn Japanese first, because that's the one I'm like mainly interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be nice to know a bunch of languages.
All right then.
Yeah. Next topic is, what types of anime merch do you have?
Oh, I got the
The good
other than like
kind.
the good kind, yeah. Oops, ouch. Other than manga and random, I know I have like a DVD version of Vampire Knight, but I didn't know it wasn't an HD, so I don't watch it. It's just lying there. But I
Really?
do have
I like Vampire
some.
Knight.
Yeah, it's a
Vampire
pretty
Knight
good
was a
anime.
great anime. I didn't think I'd
Oh,
get into it, but I did. It was pretty good.
yeah, hot guys, huh? But then I also have some figurines, only 6.
What do
One
you
from
have?
like different anime. I have Saber from Fate Stay Night. I have Yo Watanabe from Love Live. Hatsune Miku from Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, but which
I
Miku figure do you have? I have two
I have.
Miku figures. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like, how does it look?
She's using her regular outfit though.
Oh, it's just a regular Miku?
Yeah, just
Oh, I
regular
see.
one. And then the bottom ones, the other 3 are figures that my parents gave me for Christmas or my birthday, but I don't even know. I haven't even seen the anime, and I don't even know where one of them's from. One of them's from Gintama. I don't know who he is. The other one's from
Uh,
another idol anime that I haven't watched yet. And then the last one looks like she's from a mecha anime, but I
really?
don't know. I
You'd
don't
have to
know.
show me a picture of the one that you think looks like she's from a mecha anime. Maybe I know. I've seen a
It's,
couple of
it's
mecha
not
anime.
guilty ground.
Huh?
And it's not guilty ground, that's for sure.
Oh, well, yeah. It's technically Guilty Crown is not fully mecha anime. Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
Why do
here
you keep
we go
saying that?
again.
It's an argue. That's a fight I'll always take. Um, Nice. I mean, I also have manga, anime, some anime. I don't have a lot. I was collecting it at one point, but then I gave up on collecting anime. Um, with like Netflix and like Crunchyroll and stuff, I could just watch it there. What's the point of
That's true.
actually buying it? But I did spend like almost $40 in what's that anime called? It's about this guy who's really into zombie movies, and then this girl, and then he starts make his cat dies or something, so he makes like this weird potion to bring his cat back to life, and then he meets this girl who's into kind of the same stuff, and then she dies, and he gives her that potion, and she comes back as a zombie. I forgot what it was called. I don't remember. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, I have that one. I also I have a bunch of figures actually. I have 2 Miku figures. One, she's wearing like this black gothic dress, and I have one where she's just wearing like a normal skirt with like a stripe, like with the sweater on. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the gothic dress is in the box. See, this is the question. This is my question. Are yours in the box or out of the box?
They're out of the box, but I have the box right behind them. I
See,
like to keep the box too.
so my first Miku figure, which is my first figure ever, was the one which she's wearing that gothic dress, and when she
Mhm.
came, the box is all broken and like squished and smushed. The
Jesus.
figure was fine. I still have the box, but I had to take her out of the box. Now the other one came in a perfect box. The box has some like clear plastic all around. It's like perfect, and it also has a window so you can see the figure inside. I kept that one in the box, and it's still in the box. Now I have two figures from One Piece. I have a Luffy that he's like in a cowboy style, and then I have this other girl from like later on in One Piece that I never got that far, and then I have Kakashi from Naruto, and I have a Goku figure as well. All those I got them from an arcade called Round One. They have these like claw machines where it's basically there's a little like present little boxes, and they have a ring on top, and you have to hook the ring, and if you can pull it up, you just go call the staff, and then they'll give you the prize. Me and my girlfriend won all those, so I have all those, and they're in the box. Those boxes don't have windows, so you can't see the figure inside, so you just open them and you just assemble the figure. They do show the figure on the box, but I've been debating if I want to like actually assemble those figures or not, and I just don't know. I want to, because that'd be nice to have my figures out and displayed, but I don't know.
I think I don't know. I think you should, because I mean, obviously you bought it for a reason, right? They need to be put
Well, I
out.
mean, technically I didn't buy them. We won them.
Yeah,
But like the Miku figure that's in like a good condition box, and it's like you can see the figure in the box, I don't think I want to open that one yet. I've also like I thought about buying a second version of it, like a second one of those, and then opening one of them and then keep the other one in the box. But I don't know if that'd be like a waste of money if I'm just wasting my money on doing that.
Well, are you worried about it being dusty? Because all of my figures
No,
are
no,
dusty.
my Miku figure that I have gets dusty all the time, and I just end up cleaning it. But I don't know what I'm worried about. Like it's funny because me and my girlfriend were thinking about opening the other figures and assembling them all, and I told her like, oh, should we open them and put them all together? And she's like, well, what if they lose their value and you want to sell them later? I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I'm ever gonna want to sell them. Like, why would I want to sell them? These are my prized possessions. So I'm like, there's no way I would sell any of my figures. Like, why would I want to sell them? Like, I'm not desperate for money or anything, and even if I was, I still wouldn't sell my stuff. I'd figure out how to make money some other way. So I don't see why I wouldn't open them. I just don't know. But other than that, I have I really do have this interesting wall scroll. It's a Goku wall scroll. I think my mom bought that for me in a yard sale like years ago when I was like around. I was way younger. I didn't live where I live now, because I used to live in Arizona, but now I don't live in Arizona. That was like a long time ago, and she bought me that, and I've had it for years. I think she paid like $2 for it, and it's pretty big. That
$2.
Yeah, at a yard sale.
Oh.
And I feel like if I would have bought that at a store, like an anime store, or like anywhere like around there, I would have spent what, like $20, $25 on that thing. Like, it'd be a lot more expensive. And then next to that one, I have a Miku wall scroll. I remember going to the mall, and there's a store at the mall that had anime stuff, and I looked for it everywhere because they have a bunch of wall scrolls in like a big bin, and they have a bunch of wall scrolls around like along the walls and stuff. And I couldn't find that Miku one. I could see it on the wall, but I couldn't find it in the bin. So I think my cousin went and asked the lady if we could get that one, and she said sure. So I ended up buying it. It's the only one that they had, the only Miku one that they had, and it's just, I love it.
Wait, how much you get it for?
I think I got it for $18. It's pretty big.
Wow.
It's not a small one. It's pretty big. But other than that, I also have these like, there's these you know Kurumi from Day to Live?
Yeah.
So I have this weird like it's not fabric, it's like this weird paper, weird paper thing in like and it has like a cardboard behind it, so it's like, so it doesn't bend or anything, and it's like in this like clear plastic sheet thing. I have a thing of like it's like this weird art thing of her as well that I bought at the same store I got the Miku from, and I've had that for years too. I don't even know where it's at currently, but around here somewhere. But at the time I really liked Kurumi because that's when Data Live had just released their second season, I believe, or was it right after the first season? So I ended up buying that. It's somewhere around my room, but I can't find it. But that's basically all I have in anime merch. I have a lot of things. Oh, yeah. I guess you can count the anime pop figures that I have. I have Goku, Kurama Mode Kurama from Naruto. I have Hollow Ichigo from Bleach. I had Mikasa from Attack on Titan, but I gave that one to my girlfriend. I still have it, but it's not mine. and I have Miku. Miku was the first pop figure I bought
Miku.
back when I was super obsessed with Miku.
Are you still
Not that
obsessed with Miku?
nah, I'm not obsessed with her anymore. I do like her, and I love her figures, and I'm planning on collecting more of them. But I'm not obsessed with her.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah. That's the merch. The merch.
Oh, we should have done this before or after we talked about anime, but actually no, we'll come back to that later. What kind of, if you had a harem, I don't know. Just in a weird, if you got transported into an isekai by via like white bus or something, what if you had a harem, what kind of characters from any anime show would you like to have?
Like, are
Maximum
we
of
making
three.
up characters and how like we want their personalities to be, or
No,
are we
like
like, or we're like bringing characters from different anime
yeah, they all get isekai'd by the same white van, and then they get transported
from the
into
same white band? This is kidnapping. This
yeah,
is not isekai.
and
We
also
make a
manslaughter.
kidnap
But
anime and we play it off as an isekai.
yeah, but
I-
yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what you'd like to see what you have to say.
so I'm just gonna say this now. I'm pretty sure if you asked anybody else this question, they would all like. I guess your harem would be all girls, but I wouldn't. I'm not saying that I would have guys in my harem, but I'm saying that if I had to make an isekai, it wouldn't be much of a harem anime, but I would have some male characters from different animes join me as like companions through like this adventure that we would have in the isekai in the other world.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be cool to have like, I don't know, I would love to like travel around with Gon from Hunter x Hunter, because it seems like he has a lot of fun. He's like this little dude, like this little kid that's like super strong, and he just has fun. Anything he does, he's so determined, and he's like so straightforward. And it'd be kind of fun to like travel around with that guy. But as for like a harem type of thing, I don't know. I mean, number one, I'd get Kagakoko from um Golden Time, because I mean it's my favorite anime, and she's like
Uh-huh.
best girl for me. But I really like how they make blonde characters in anime. So I would go. I would have to add a blonde character, and I'd go with Lucy from Fairy Tail.
Mm.
I just, it's not because she's not because she's blonde, but it's because I don't know. Every time I watch, I used to watch when I used to watch Fairy Tail before it ended. Um, she was always a character that was super emotional and stuff, and cared a lot about her friends. And every time like Natsu and Happy would be off, or like every time a new season would start, they would always start like with her talking about like all the adventures that she had and stuff like that. So it'd be kind of cool to hang out with. I don't know who else. Who would you add? Who would you?
Well, my first pick would be Yui Gahama Yui from Snafu. I don't know. I really like those types of girls. You know, the whole cheer up and then like motivate. What's it called? Moral support type of people.
Mhm.
Yeah. And plus, she has pink hair, so that's like 100 points for me.
It's just like the same way with blonde. It's the same way that you like pink hair. So okay, so if you liked pink hair chicks, then would you add Yuki from Future Diaries? Or are you just not into yandere characters? Huh? Hello?
What up? Oh, hey, what's up?
Did your
My
internet
internet.
crap out?
Oops.
But anyways, back to my question.
What was the question?
So since you liked pink hair girls, would you add a Yuki from Future Diaries to your harem?
Oh hell no, dude! What the fuck?
You
She'll
just
kill all the other girls.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. That's true. I mean, it would be funny to have a yandere in a harem, but she probably would kill all the other, especially one
Yeah,
like her
not her.
who's super crazy.
Mhm.
She probably would kill them all. What else? Who else would you have?
Let's see. Honestly, I thought this through, but I need to recheck. Actually, no, I'd go with Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa. She's like, I guess, if you want to say the what's her name again? The person that you just said?
Yuki.
Yeah,
Wait, is her
you mean
name Yuki?
It's
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
Yuki's the guy.
Yeah, I don't want a guy in my harem. What are
I
you
forgot.
gay?
Yuki's the
Yeah,
guy. Yes,
but she's but except the whole
Oh, is
love
that pink
interest.
chick, the pink hair chick
Yeah,
from that from
yeah,
Danganronpa?
yeah. I said,
I've always seen her in
yeah,
like.
she's like
She's a
an
really
awesome
popular
sadist.
character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
I just
mean,
really like her
she
for
isn't she like
her
crazy as hell too
craziness.
though?
Hell yeah, dude. She even murdered her own sister.
Oh.
Spoilers for Danganronpa.
I mean, I don't think I was ever gonna watch it, but or play the games. But I guess for spoilers for anybody who was.
It's fine. It happens like in the first chapter.
Dang it, now you're spoiling it more. They didn't know when it happened, now they do.
Shit.
Just gonna skip
Wait,
through it because the interesting thing already happened.
should I stop?
Who else would you add?
Last one. I actually really don't know. It'll probably be Mari from Love Live,
Mm.
because
Which one's
yeah,
Mari again?
blonde. She's the blonde chick, the blonde rich kid, or
Is
girl.
that from the first one or for the second one? That's not
She's in
for
the
that's
second
a
one.
she's in Sunshine?
Yeah, she's in Sunshine. I don't
Oh,
think you
okay.
watched Sunshine.
No, I didn't
Though.
watch Sunshine.
Yeah,
I watched the
I
first
like
one.
her.
I don't know who else would I pick. I guess if we're picking like crazy characters, I guess I'd pick Kurumi from Day to Live. She's crazy, and
It's not bad.
I just like her like the way she dresses. Because if you ever seen the first season of it when she wears that black dress,
Mm-hmm.
she looks nice in it. She looks good. She looked good. Not gonna lie. Um,
All right.
I don't know who else I would honestly pick. I mean, there's so many characters that like so many anime girls that you could probably pick. But yeah, I guess you couldn't have all of them. It's funny how we hold Inori from Guilty Crown in like super high regards, but we didn't pick her.
Yeah, but Nori is like, as much as I like her,
I
I
don't
don't
think she'd be
know.
good for a harem. She's too
Yeah,
I feel like if she wasn't a harem anime type of thing, she'd just give up and she'd like she'd be like she'd probably try to help the other girls. You know what I mean? She's like not too friendly, but too nice to like fight.
yeah, I guess. I actually don't remember her like how she acted a lot, so probably.
She was really quiet in the anime, and that's what makes me feel like she'd be really really nice. So it wouldn't work out. She wouldn't like fight for the
Mm.
main character. Um.
Yeah, those are the three picks.
Yeah. I
Hey,
mean, I guess that's my three picks as well. If we're only picking three. What
uh,
else?
what's the next topic?
From that, it's a manga we've read. Have you read any manga recently?
Mm. No,
No.
not even.
Uh,
What
I
about
guess I could
you?
talk about
Let me see.
Eden Zero, the manga that was made
Oh
after Fairy
yeah,
Tail ended.
the one that looks exactly like Fairy Tail.
Yeah, see that's the thing. A lot of the characters do look exactly like Fairy Tail. So in Fairy Tail, there's a girl named Urza Scarlet,
Mm-hmm.
and in Eden Zero, after chapter 2, they introduce a character named Elsie Crimson.
Wow,
Yeah,
creative.
exactly. It's so weird. A lot of the characters look similar, um, but it's a lot more edgy in the sense that in Fairy Tail, they don't like. A lot of people do die, but it's never like super like harsh or anything. And on this one, spoilers for the first chapter, for the second chapter actually, if anybody wants to read it, this is a spoiler. But the cat's name is Happy, and in Fairy Tail, the cat's name is also Happy. But in this one, um the main character, the main girl, her name's Rebecca, and she was abandoned by her parents, and the cat was also abandoned. And when they find each other, she's like, oh, why are you here, like, or where are you from? And he doesn't remember anything. And his name, and she names him Happy. But then later on, they stay best friends and they're happy and they're like children, and they're both orphans, the cat and her. And then the cat gets ran over and dies.
Oh no.
but they somehow transfer his like soul or whatever into a robot body, so he's a robot cat.
That
It's
sounds
weird.
awesome.
It's like really really weird. But from what I've seen in the second chapter, she that the cat can turn into guns, and that's what she uses to fight. Because the whole world is full of like robots and stuff, and then the guy, his name is Shiki, which is the main character,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived in like this island that was it was like an amusement park full of robots, but people stopped going there, and he was dropped off by this they call him the Demon King, but he was like a robot as well, and it's kind of weird. And every place they visit, instead of being like in fairy tale, it's different like areas in the world, like they all live in that same world. It's just different like regions, different countries and stuff. In this, they're all different planets, like different galaxies type of thing. So they take Shiki out of that planet with the robots and stuff. That's and then they go to back to where Rebecca's from, and it's like they're in space. It's so weird. It's so freaking like it. The characters are so similar looking to fairy tale characters, and their names are similar in a way. But the whole concept of robots and different planets is way different and way out of like it's just different than actual fairy tale. But I'm actually enjoying it. I'm planning on reading the rest of it soon. Hopefully, if they're, I don't know if they've released manga books for it in the U.S., but hopefully when they do, I'm definitely gonna collect all of those.
Hmm.
Other
All
than
right.
that, I've
Wow.
been reading. I mean, that one. I think I talked about it in the last podcast, but I've been reading Gal Gohan, which is kind of interesting as well. I still haven't read that ramen, that the one about the girl that likes ramen. I haven't read that one yet. Um, I haven't started on A Silent Voice. I have the box and I haven't started reading that yet either.
Wow.
I never finished the. I also started Black Butler, the first chapter, the first volume of it, and I finished like the first chapter, and I haven't read it since. So I need to at least finish that first volume as well. I have a lot I wanna. Actually, there is another one I started reading. Because I like how if you ever like, I recommend you can look them up online. But if there's this manga called what is it, Platinum End, and the manga books look really really cool, and they have like these like aluminum foil covers where it's like really shiny and stuff, like holographic type of thing. And I did read the first chapter of the first volume of it. It's about this guy whose parents died a long time ago, and it starts off that he's in high school. This is another spoiler, but it's just the first chapter. He starts off that he's in high school. He's just going through high school. He's just a loner type of guy. At the end of the school day, he gets out of school. He goes to this building, climbs all the way to the top of the building, and jumps off. he's
Okay.
he's gonna technically kill himself, and he gets saved by an angel that supposedly he's always been there with him. And she grants him two powers. One is the power to what was it? I don't remember what it was, but that one's not important. The other one's the power to make anybody fall in love with him or love him. And then he goes back home. He lives with his aunt and her husband or boyfriend, which is like his uncle, but I guess they don't get along. And then the angel girl tells him that they were the ones who killed his parents. So he uses the love arrow thing that she granted him that he can do now to make his aunt, which is like younger, not younger than him, but like she's like in her early 30s, late 20s, and makes her fall in love with him. And then she makes her confess to the truth, and then the uncle comes in and starts strangling the aunt for
Okay.
telling him and stuff, like why did she tell him and all this stuff. And then he says that he wishes they were both dead, and because she's like in love with him, she'll like, because of the arrow power thing that he was granted, she takes everything literally, and like she'll do anything for him. So she stabs herself in the neck.
Oh my
It's
god.
insane. Yeah, she stabs herself in the neck and kills herself. And then I don't know. I think that's where the first chapter ended, and I haven't read it since. But it's crazy. Like, it's so damn good. I was when I bought Gal Gohan at the, because I went to Barnes and Nobles, and that's where I bought those. I saw like they had the whole set of Platinum End books, and I was gonna buy the first two chapters, and now I regret not buying them. I should have bought them. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, that's what I've been reading today.
Going back to me, I remember this is not recent, but I remember a long time ago, back in high school, I read a manga that I kind of liked at the time. It was called Arachnid, and I don't know if you ever heard of that. It was
No, but it reminds me of an anime that I watched. Go on.
it's a it's like a typical battle royale ish game where it's a survival game where you have to like kill everyone and win something. I forget what the reward was, but basically it's about this chick who gets abused by her uncle, and then some like famous hitman kills him, and then he trains the chick to become like an assassin.
Hmm.
And at the spoilers for chapter 1 or like 2, but when he finishes training with her, he can't he tells him to kill him,
Hmm.
and that sparks like a troublesome situation where she has to participate in this well, not it's not a game, but she has to fend for herself by like these other assassins. And
Yeah.
the entire, I guess, niche of this show is that they're all of their abilities, I guess, and skills are based off of like insects. Like her is
Oh.
based off of like the spider.
Oh, that's actually kind of
So
cool
she has like a
concept.
spider, interesting. Yeah, and then we have like other characters that are like like a cockroach person, I
Mhm.
guess, but she's like cool, I guess. But yeah, that's what the entire manga is supposed to be. But I think
Ah.
the only thing I don't like about it is that every time they always, you know how those anime moments in action anime where they like do something really on they do something really sudden that you wouldn't expect, and then they spend some time explaining it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here they do that a lot, and they explain it by telling you a lot of insect facts, like, hey, did you know that cockroaches can lose their heads and still live after quite a while?
Oh, damn.
Well, shit, that's what happens. And then they kind of give you like an essay prompt on that. If you get past that, it's kind of enjoyable, I'd say. I like it.
Oh, that's crazy. It reminds me
Mm.
of this anime that came out recently called Darwin's Game or something like that. Um,
Darwin's.
I think it's a battle royale style anime too. I
Oh.
need to go and watch that. But it also reminds me of this other manga I read a long time ago. It's similar to they're in a game and they have to like kill each other, but at the end they end up in this house and it's like a whole murder mysteries style thing because people start dying out of nowhere, and and then somebody wins, and then it turns out that whoever wins gets a bunch of, I don't remember what it was. I watched it a lot. I
What?
read it a long time ago. But when you said Arachnic, it reminded me of this anime I watched a long time ago called Spider Riders. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No,
No.
I've never heard of that.
It's about they're like in a different planet, and these kids control these giant mechanical spiders, and they ride them around. You should look up the opening for that. That song's amazing.
What was it called? Spider
Spider
Walkers
Riders.
Riders.
I used to watch that a lot. It was never consistent on the episodes were never consistent. They would like just randomly choose an episode from the season and play it on TV. But yeah, I used to watch that a lot. And there used to be this other anime about like dinosaur riders. I think it was a similar concept, but they were dinosaurs instead of spiders.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why it reminded me of Spider Riders. I used to love watching Spider Riders. I don't know why.
It reminds me of Bakugan. I'm watching, like, looking at images. It reminds me of like
It's kind
those
of old though. It's
cartoons.
old.
Yeah, it does look old. Jesus.
I used to watch that a lot. I love Spider Riders. I don't know. I just remembered it.
But why spiders for a kids show? I know when I was a kid, I
I mean,
got
they're
scared of
mechanical
spiders.
spiders. I mean, I think the enemies were different type of bugs too. I
Oh
think
God.
so. Yeah, but they're all like mechanical. None of them are like organic.
I guess that's true. Yeah, looking at here, yeah, they all look robotic.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But it's kind of just reminded me, like the villains and stuff kind of remind me of kind of like the Power Ranger style stuff, but in animation form, and
Oh.
spiders. And different spiders had different abilities and stuff.
Hmm.
There was different writers, and I think it was an isekai as well, because I think those people came from a different world.
Wow. There
Uh,
we go.
well, isekais have been around for a long time for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but if you now that you mention Bakugan and stuff like that, all those are actually they're anime. All that like Beyblade is anime. All that stuff is anime. I remember watching some of that.
Yeah, I remember watching those when I was a kid. I didn't know it was anime. I just called them like
Well,
cartoons
yeah,
like
I mean,
everyone else.
because when I was a kid, I grew up on Pokemon and stuff, and
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
those
and
types.
that's anime too.
Yeah.
But yeah, uh, I like how we put at the top of our topic list ones we hate, and then at the bottom is worst anime. So basically the same topic we
Oh,
talked about. But
yeah,
is there
pretty
any
much.
like anime that you just think is bad?
Oh yes. If you're my friend in real life, yeah, you know what, you know what movie I'm talking about. It's a movie. I don't
Okay,
like
yeah, I
fireworks.
tried to ask you earlier when
Yeah,
you wrote this
yeah,
topic down. What
yeah. I
is it?
don't like fireworks. Fireworks is
Oh,
gay.
you did
Gay.
tell me that too. I
Yeah,
actually
dude.
like fireworks. Okay, I don't. Okay, let's. So I don't think it's better than Your Name or like any of the other ones I've
Oh
seen, like
no.
Garden of Words, or like 5 centimeters. But I
Uh-huh.
still think it's good.
It
I liked it.
it could be enjoyable, but in
I mean, it can't.
from
I
in
mean, it
my
doesn't
case,
hold up against those, obviously.
yeah, it
Like
could be enjoyable.
Your Name is super good, and A Silent Voice is amazing.
Yes, I can agree on that. In my case though, I can't stand it because I had to the anime was the movie was showing in my local theater, and I bought the movie 3 times so I can give the tickets to my friends so we could watch it. So I paid 3 tickets for a movie I did not enjoy at the end of it. And
So you
that
bought
made
the
me hate
tickets,
it
or you
so
bought
much.
the movie that came with the tickets?
No, I bought the tickets to see the movie.
Uh, damn. I I think I saw it online that they announced that they were making fireworks, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So during Christmas of 2018, I believe, I was supposed to be Christmas shopping for my family, and I ended up buying that. Technically, it wasn't instead, but I wasted like $24 on it, or around there, somewhere from like $14 to $24. And I bought it and I watched it, and I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was the best thing ever. I mean, it could have been a lot better, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I just really didn't enjoy it. Just everything about that movie just didn't make sense. But I don't want to get too much into it. But
Yeah,
what
I
about
mean,
you? Do you have something that you desperately don't like and just genuinely hate?
uh,
Like,
I don't know if there's
grr.
anything I genuinely hate. I mean, we already talked about anime I really don't like Umaru-chan and stuff. It's not that I guess I don't hate them. I just can't get into them. I don't think there's ever
Mhm.
been something that I like truly hate, but no, I guess not. I mean, I've seen a lot of movies. I don't. No, I can't really think of anything that I would like say it's like the worst, or like that I could say that I hate or anything like that. I
Uh,
guess
can
not.
you can you tell me like your least favorite? Doesn't have to be like a bad one, but like out of all the movies you've watched, can you tell me like your least favorite? Like just something you didn't enjoy as much as your
I
as the
guess
other
my
ones you've
least favorite
watched.
would be fireworks, just
There we
because
go.
I've seen different I've seen a lot of different ones that are really good.
Yeah. Huh?
Like Garden of Words, that one's really good.
I like
Five
that one, yeah.
centimeters, something something. I forgot the rest of the name, but that one's good. That one's really good. Your Name is really good. Um, Weathering with You, I haven't seen yet. You said it was all right.
It was all right. I feel like if you've watched Your Name, it's gonna feel the same exact thing.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it's like the
There's
same.
another one actually. Now that like we're talking about this topic, but our next topic is upcoming anime and movies.
Mm-hmm.
This is technically not upcoming because I think it's already been released, but it's called Whisper or something like that. It's another movie about this girl that likes this guy, but this guy likes cats. So she wishes that she could turn into a cat so she can get close to him. But then like the whole like situation is that she's like in her cat she's in her cat form too long, and she starts turning into a cat, like actual turning into a cat. I haven't watched it yet, but that's one
What
that
was it
seems really
called?
really interesting.
What was it called?
Let me see if I can find the name of it. It's on. It should be last season. Go to the last season and then go to movies. I think you should be able to find it there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is another one that I've been waiting for too. I think it's already out too, isn't it? Hello World. Hello World is another one that I was waiting for, which I believe is out already.
Hello World.
Hello World. For those of you wondering, oh no, it is. It's in summer 2020 anime movies. It's called Nakitai Watashi wa Neko wo Kaburu. Or in English, it is. I had the name of it somewhere. Where is? It's something whisper. I'm positive. Oh no, it's not whisper. It's a whisker away. A whisker away is what the English name of it.
Oh, I see it here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
this looks interesting. Yeah.
I can. I was gonna read the description, but basically I already. But anyways, for those of you wondering what website we're looking at, I'm gonna go ahead and link it in the description. It's called livechart.me. It shows you all the upcoming anime and anime movies, and it also has a timer at the top of it of each series, which lets you know when it is premiering and when the next episode is coming out. And this is all good information if you like watching anime and you didn't know about this website. But yeah,
I didn't know that either. It's pretty awesome that I know this now.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Oh my god, look at this. So I don't think that this is gonna release in. Oh, this was releasing in August 13th. So okay, so I'm gonna be waiting for this as well. Now that I'm looking at all these movies and stuff coming out, and we're gonna be talking about upcoming stuff, I just realized there's a movie called Data Bullet, Dead or Bullet, and I guess it follows the story of Kurumi from Data Live, and it's a movie. Comes out August 13th. I'm excited.
Oh,
that's
wow.
interesting. It is really interesting. We were just talking about Kurumi as well, so that's pretty
true.
cool. But no, Hello World came out too, and Hello World seems really interesting. That's another one that I was waiting for, and I forgot about it until just now because I realized it's out already. And the summary says a man travels in time from the year 2027 to relive his school years and to correct a bad decision. So it seems kind of interesting. Maybe, and it shows like a guy and a girl. So maybe he never had the guts to talk to that girl, and then he goes back in time and decides to talk to her. Possibly, hopefully, because that seems kind of interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. But anything else you're looking forward to? I mean, besides like all the stuff we mentioned already, like the ReZero season 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah. All the obvious ones.
Yeah, all the obvious second seasons of anime we've been watching.
For
I mean,
TV shows.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the God of High School episode 2. You know.
Which one?
Can't wait for the God of High School.
Oh yeah,
episode 2.
It's so good.
That show was
every Monday. It comes out every Monday.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm excited.
Anyways. Another one.
Hopefully, if an anime that I would love a second season for, that I guess I'd be anticipating, if they ever do decide to make one, and I really hope they do, is Arifureta. I would love to have another season of that. I know the manga continues and does all this stuff, but I would love to have another season of it. I love watching that. I'd be at work and I'd be thinking about it. I'd be thinking about just going home to watch it. That's how much I really got into that anime.
Wow.
Other than that, I can't really think of anything. There's a lot of great anime coming out, and I mean, there is that one, My Teenage Rom-Com. That one has finally released the 3rd season, so I'm excited to watch that for sure.
I love it because it's like when did the first one air? Like 2012, and then it took 4 years for another animation company to take the second one. And then
Yeah,
now we
and
have 3
now it's a
years later.
third one.
We
I
yeah, we
know it took so
finally have a second one.
long.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm really hyped for that.
And one I am excited for is one is a rent girlfriend or a rental girlfriend, however you want to say it. Um, because I just started I just started collecting the manga for it. I've read the manga before. I read it before, but now that they're releasing the actual books online, not online, the actual like paperback copies of the books, I've started collecting them.
Mhm.
And they just at the same time that the book release, now they're releasing the anime, so I'm excited to watch that as well. Excited for that one too. A
I
rental
think
girlfriend. It's funny because a lot of the manga I've read, it gets turned into an anime. So I'll read the manga and then like the next month after that I'll be like, oh, they're making an anime for it now. It's
wow.
crazy. But it's interesting. Looking at all the anime coming out now, I don't know if there's anything else that I'm interested in. I do want to start watching Attack on Titan, so I can finish all of them, all the seasons. I had stopped at season 2.
I forgot that show's still going.
Yeah, it is. Did you ever play a game called The World Ends with You? It's an
No, I
it's
don't
a
think
it's
so.
an JRPG from the DS era. Well, they remade
No.
it for the Switch. They remade it for the
Oh,
Switch.
really?
I played it. I played it on the DS, but I never really got into it because I didn't know what the hell was going on. So they remade it for the Switch, and now there's an animation for it. So that's kind of cool. I'll probably watch that as well when it releases.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I think I have heard of this game. I think my friend told me about it. Yeah,
yeah
I was actually wanting to play this too.
I'll probably I've been wanting to play it too, but I think I'm just gonna end up getting it on the Switch later on. And
Yeah, I might just get it on the Switch.
yeah, I mean I could just play it on the DS, but I'd rather just get it on the Switch. It'd be a lot easier for me to play. Better graphics, bigger screen, play it on my TV. I also want to finish Food Wars. They're on their 5th season, by the way.
5th season? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
because
How long
it's
is
Food
that anime?
Wars, and I think it's Food Wars the first plate, and then Food Wars the second plate, and then the third plate, and then the fourth plate, and right now, episode 2 of the 5th plate just released. So yeah, they're on 5 seasons.
Jesus.
It might end. This might be the last season because when you think about dining like a high class restaurant, you get like what five courses, or does it go up to 7 courses, like a 7-course meal? I think they might
I
follow that
wouldn't know.
same rule. Hopefully, it doesn't go up to 7, and hopefully, this is the last season because I still need to catch up to it. But because I think I stopped at the 3rd season. But yeah. Did you already finish watching Love Is War?
Love is War. I finished the first season, but I did not finish the second one.
I need to start it because the 2nd season ended already.
Oh shit! Then I gotta watch it then.
Yeah, I think I need to
I
start
need to catch
watching
up
it too.
on anime.
Seems really, really interesting.
It's fun, yeah. What else? There was also something just wanted to add, just slightly. I know
Yeah.
there's one movie that I'm waiting for. Is just the next. Oh, I hope, yeah, the final Fate Stay Night movie for Third Route. Just Heaven's Feel, because the second movie ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm just really
Oh, did
waiting
it?
for this third one.
I've only ever
Yeah.
watched Fate Stay Night, so I don't know anything about the Fate series, but I enjoyed what I watched, so that's a good thing.
Alright.
Lately I've been on a kick, not on a kick, but I've been like wanting to watch and get into the Monogatari series, so hopefully I'll do that. I guess that's not an anticipated thing, but it's something I've been wanting to do, and hopefully I'll get into it soon. I'm gonna try to finish what I'm watching now before I start it, but that'd be kind of fun to do. All right, so what anime conventions do we plan on going?
Hopefully everything.
I would love to go
Hopefully,
to Anime
yeah.
Expo. That'd be amazing, but I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
happen. But before I even think about going to Anime Expo, I want to go to like smaller conventions just so I can get like the hang of how conventions work. But I do
Have you
know
ever
that, huh? I've
have you
never
ever
been in
been
an
to an
anime
anime
convention. No,
convention
I
before?
have not.
Oh.
And in New Mexico, because I live in New Mexico, they don't really have anime conventions. They have one, but it's like kind of small. I've never
Mm-hmm.
been to it, but hopefully, if they have it around September, I don't think they'll have it this year. But if they do have it next year, I'll probably go to that. But I'm planning, hopefully by next year, if everything's good and conventions start coming back up, I kind of want to travel and go to some conventions in different states. Mainly in states near me, like in Colorado or Arizona, uh, or maybe even Texas, because Texas isn't that far from where I live. Because I'm not a big, I've never been on a plane,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd rather drive, and that's why I'm just gonna go to conventions that are close by. Because from here to where I live to Arizona, it's like 8 hours, and from here to Denver, Colorado, it's 5 hours, and I think from here to, I don't know what part of Texas it is, but it's like 11 hours. So I wouldn't mind driving that.
Driving for 8 hours though?
And it's
Jeez.
not that big of a deal. If you're gonna stay there, if like I have family in Arizona, so that's not a big. And I have
Oh.
family. Well, my sister lives in Denver, so that's not that big of an issue. Um, but yeah, I do plan on going to more conventions. Starting to go to any like conventions at all. Not this year, but like hopefully next year when all this pandemic starts dying down a little. That'd be
Mm-hmm.
kind of nice. What about you? What about you?
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go to more. Just obviously, my experience in the first time wasn't that great. Well, not that great, but it's because a lot of people, you know, how you get a little bit of anxiety filled with a bunch of people there.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of got to me that one time, just because it was my first time. But I think if I go to my second one, it'll be a whole lot better.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just feel like if I want to go to a convention, I need to save up money because I'm probably gonna buy a lot of things.
Oh yeah, they're fun. They
Especially
cost a
because where
lot.
I live, New Mexico doesn't really have a lot of places where you can buy anime merchandise. And
Mm-hmm.
if there's a bunch of merchants coming from different places or just merchants in general at like a convention, I'm probably gonna buy a lot of stuff. That's
Yeah.
probably the only place I can like get stuff. Besides online, obviously you can get anything online. But yeah,
Would you ever cosplay into a convention?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I just don't think I'd ever do it myself.
Oh, like with a you would do it with like a group of people.
I don't know actually. No, I'm saying that like I like when people cosplay. I think it's cool and stuff, but I don't think I would ever cosplay. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I see.
I have a friend that cosplays a lot, and he asked me if I would ever do it as well, but I don't think so. I don't think I would. Would you? Or have you ever cosplayed?
I mean, the closest cosplay I got was like that Sora from No Game No Life because I just wore the shirt. But I don't know. I think it sounds fun. Just with my fat body, I don't really think I would do much. Unless I cosplay that guy from Excel World, I'd be the perfect candidate for that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I just think I don't I wouldn't cosplay because there's not many like anime characters that have curly hair,
Hmm.
and I have really curly hair. I think there's this anime called Behemoth something something something, where the main character has like an orange afro. I think I could do him if I dyed my hair orange or if I something like that. I could probably cosplay him, but other than that, I don't think there's a lot of characters that I could cosplay, and straightening my hair would take forever. So no thanks.
That's fair. All right, I think it's a good enough time to end it. We're like a 108. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's around the same time
All
we
right.
ended last time episode. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Talked about really a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah,
It was a
basically.
lot less. I would just say, in my opinion, I was a lot less nervous than I was the first time we recorded the first episode, the pilot episode.
It's good that you
And
didn't interview me as much this time around. Oh, thank God.
that's true. You did talk a lot more this time around, which is great. But I still feel like
Oh,
we're still a little nervous.
mm-hmm.
So
A
the way
little
we
bit,
like say
yeah.
stuff and we mess up and stuff. But I mean, this is gonna take time for us to get better at it, which is it's gonna happen eventually. One day we'll just wake up and record these episodes like nothing. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I think I already said that, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. I wonder what topics we'll talk about then. And if you have any suggestions for topics, let us know in the description, in the comment section below, and we'll definitely talk about that. Or any questions as well. Thank you for listening and watching. If you're watching it on YouTube.